So I want to compare the newer Google Pixel 9 with the older but very powerful, popular at the time, the Google 6 Pro. We got just two very, very nice Android phones, and I thought it'd just be interesting to compare the specs and which one is a better buy overall, which one holds up. Just overall, let's see what both of these phones, how do they compare to each other. First, let's compare the price. So the Google Pixel 9 launched brand new $800 price tag, a little bit more than the Pixel 8, about $100 more. And that's the price of the iPhone 15. So the Pixel is now the same price as an iPhone. But the Pixel 9 is already down very, very low. I see it on Swappa for as low as this price right here, $525. So that's the good thing about the Pixels, is that as soon as they're launched, their price goes down very, very low on third-party market websites. There you got a lot of trade-ins. There's a lot of sales going on, so you can find the Pixel line even if it's just launched for a very, very low price. So keep that in mind. The Pixel 9, you could get it as low, brand new, unopened, for around $500. On the other hand, you could find the Pixel 6 Pro for as low as around less than $200, a little bit more if you want it unlocked here on Swappa, for example. But that's a given. This is a device that was launched over 2 years ago. But it just goes to show, if you're thinking of buying this phone in 2024, you can get the Pixel 6 Pro for a vastly lower price tag than a Pixel 9. Next, the phones on the Pixels are pretty much known for their camera quality, and the Pixel 9 is not going to be any different. This scores a very, very good DxOMark score, so basically just the quality of the camera, and you don't disappoint here. You can see here it's the first phone ranking in the premium phone market, 7th overall, so this is a very, very good camera from the Pixel 9. And then we compare it to the Pixel 6 Pro camera quality, and it doesn't do too bad at all. It has an overall score of 134. It's 40th in the ultra premium ranking, 47th in comparing every single phone in the world. And it gives you a pretty good indication of the quality that this phone, even when it was launched 2 years ago, it is slightly lower quality than the Pixel 9, but for a 2.5-year-old phone and at $200, that's not bad at all. So camera quality is still solid on the Pixel 6 Pro. Next, let's compare like the pure power, the processing power of the Pixel 9 and the Pixel 6 Pro. It is a simple test. Which one's a more powerful device? Is it going to hold up to your daily task and just how you use the phone? And the Pixel 9, we're going to use the Geekbench score, just an overall easy number overall to see how the phone overall performs. And the Pixel 9 performs very high at 1736 single core score, multi-score of 4458, and that's tops right now. And for the Pixel 6 Pro in the benchmark test, it has a score of 1359 for the single core and multi-core score of 3150, so it's going to be lower than the Pixel 9. And here, just to put it into perspective, these are the scores of all the Pixels that have come out so far. The Pixel 9 is not listed here, but like I said, we saw the score earlier of that 1700 type of score. And the Pixel 6 Pro sits at around 13 to 1400 benchmark right there. But as you could tell, anything after the Pixel 4, the scores are so similar. They made a big jump from the Pixel 4 on up. So once you get into the Tensor chip category, it's very small little incremental jumps in power. So it's safe to say that the Pixel 6 Pro definitely competes and goes head to head with the Pixel 9 in terms of just regular computer use on your phone, using your everyday apps, using it for day-to-day use. Obviously, since the Pixel 9 has a slightly better benchmark score, it's just a little bit more powerful, but I think for most people they won't notice a difference. But the Pixel 6 Pro comes very close and is very acceptable, more than acceptable, when it comes to pure processing power of your apps and day-to-day usage on the phone. So far we talked about the price, we've talked about the camera quality, and we talked about the pure processing and benchmark scores. So now let's go ahead and talk about all the other extra stuff that these phones have and how do they compare to each other. So overall size, if you want a more compact device, the Pixel 9 is just smaller and more pocketable versus the slightly bigger Pixel 6 Pro. The Pixel 6 Pro size is typically what every other Android phone has, cheap or expensive. They're just way bigger. They're like the Plus models. They're just very, very huge. So that's what stands out about the regular Pixel phones, the base model and the Pixel 9 is just more compact, more easier to handle in your hands. The Pixel 9 Pro is also a more lightweight device overall than the Pixel 6 Pro, but the build quality is the same on both of these: glass front, glass back, aluminum frame. Both of these phones have nano SIM card slots and eSIMs, which is nice to have multiple carriers, multiple phone numbers, multiple data plans, so it's a tie. Other similarity is both have IP68 dust and water resistance. Now let's get to the display. Both of these have a 120 hertz refresh rate, so very fast, very smooth on both of these devices. You have a brighter display overall on the Pixel 9 versus the Pixel 6 Pro, so that's going to matter more when you're in outside daylight. The overall screen size of the devices differ. The Pixel 9 has a smaller 6.3-inch display versus the 6.7-inch on the Pixel 6 Pro. And you also get smaller, thinner bezels on the Pixel 6 Pro. You get 89% screen-to-body ratio versus only 86% on the Pixel 9. Resolution is also better on the 6 Pro. You have 512 ppi versus the 1080p display on the 9, which has 422 ppi. So you have a better resolution, crisper display on the Pixel 6 Pro. Both of these also have always on display. So when it comes to the software, they both run Android 14, but the Pixel 9 has a major advantage because it will get 7 years of Android updates, while the Pixel 6 Pro launched with Android 12 and it's probably only going to get Android 15. So it's not going to get any more updates after that. Chipset. The Pixel 9 has the newer Tensor G4, while the Pixel 6 Pro has just the first gen Tensor. When it comes to overall everyday usage on the phone, that Tensor, the regular first gen Tensor on the Pixel 6 Pro should be more than enough when it goes head to head with the more faster G4 on the Pixel 9. And like I said earlier in the Geekbench scores, it's not a big, gigantic, huge leap in processing power, so don't be too worried about using the phone on a day-to-day basis. Neither of these have expandable storage, but both do come with 128 gigs of internal storage, which sounds like more than enough for most people. But both of these also have 12 gigs of RAM, and I think that's a big deal because the Pixel 9 is the first base model Pixel to have 12 gigs of RAM as opposed to 8 gigs on previous models. But the Pixel 6 Pro, when it launched, had already had 12 gigs of RAM. So you're getting the same type of territory when it comes to background apps and apps shutting down. You shouldn't have an issue on either of these devices. So I mentioned the camera quality earlier with the DxOMark scores, and they're both very similar, but obviously the Pixel 9 is going to be a little bit better. But both of these phones do differ in the specs on the cameras. So the Pixel 9 has 2 cameras on the back, a 50 megapixel shooter main camera with a 48 megapixel ultra wide shooting at 4K, while the 6 Pro has 3 cameras on the back, 50 megapixel main camera, 48 megapixel periscope telephoto, and a 12 megapixel ultra wide, and it also shoots in 4K. So to summarize, you're getting an extra camera, an extra zoom in telephoto. So if you want to zoom in a lot, the Pixel 6 Pro is going to do probably a better job. It has an extra camera there. And it's for a device that came out 2 years ago and for a price of around $200, it competes very well with the camera that you're getting on the Pixel 9 Pro. Both of these will do a great job. They're both great cameras in their own right. But you do have an extra camera, the periscope telephoto zoom, on the 6 Pro, so just keep that in mind. Selfie cameras are both good. They both have a 4K shooter in the front, great for video calls and for crisp selfie videos. Neither of these phones come with a headphone jack. Bluetooth, you get 5.3 on the 9, 5.2 on the 6 Pro. NFC on both, USB Type-C on both. Both of these have a under the display fingerprint reader, but the Pixel 9 has a little bit more sophisticated ultrasonic fingerprint sensor as opposed to the optical one on the 6 Pro. So that's pretty much going to be a little bit faster. It's going to register more than the optical one on the 6 Pro. So you're going to get a little bit more reliability on the improvement of the Pixel 9 fingerprint reader. What else do we have? Last thing, pretty much the major thing is going to be the battery. The Pixel 9, 4700 milliamps, not too bad, while the 6 Pro has a 5000 milliamp battery. Both of these will give you all day battery life. If you were to get the Pixel 6 Pro today in 2024, it's a 2.5-year-old phone. Yeah, you're not going to get that full 5000 milliamp battery life, but for average use, after 2 years, it should be close to the same battery life as the Pixel 9. So don't be too worried about battery life. They should last you pretty much almost all day. Both of these have similar charging speeds, 27 watts on the Pixel 9, 23 watts on the 6 Pro, 15 watt wireless on the 9, 23 watt wireless on the 6 Pro. And you also get reverse wireless on both of these devices. So the battery life actually compares very similarly on both of these devices, although they've been released 2 years apart and one is $200. So we went through the deep dive of all the specs, all the comparisons. We talked about the camera quality on these devices. We've talked about the processing power and the Geekbench scores. We've talked about the pricing models on these, and then all the specs and all the ins and outs. And now we talk about value for money. So if we compare these devices toe to toe with the price included, Pixel 9 at $550, because you can find it very, very cheap instead of that $800. And the Pixel 6 Pro, you can find it for $220 on Swappa or third-party marketplaces. And the better device overall, value for your money, if you get it in 2024, is going to be the Pixel 6 Pro. And it offers 64% better value for money given the price differences. And it's not worth paying that extra $330 for the Pixel 9. And the value is even better when you compare the Pixel 9 at its full brand new price of $800 versus the used Pixel 6 Pro price at $220. It's even better. The Pixel 6 Pro offers a 79% better value for money, and it's not worth that $580 extra that you're paying for the Pixel 9. So I do think that both of these devices are very good devices, especially when you get them for the used prices, especially on the Pixel 9. If you could find it for around $500, that's a great value for what you're getting. And you're getting all these 7 years of Android updates, and you're getting super nice Geekbench scores, very good processing power. But if you're really just wanting a phone that does almost everything that the Pixel 9 does, the Pixel 6 Pro can get it for a very low price. And overall, bang for your buck, the Pixel 6 Pro is still up there. But the big downside, though, is that it's not going to get any more of those Android updates. So when you compare these, both of these aren't a bad choice, but I tend to lean more towards the Pixel 6 Pro if you don't really care about that software update. But once the security stuff stops getting updated, then that might be a problem. So the Pixel 9 is still a great value when you think if you're going to use it for the next 7 years, next couple of years. So that's pretty much it. Those has been my comparison of the Pixel 9 versus the Pixel 6 Pro in 2024.